The UFO investigators are in Avon, Indiana, where witness Matthew Reed claims to have been abducted by aliens and woke up with strange marks on his body.
I had noticed I had 2 puncture wounds in my chest.
Returning to the location of the event for the first time jogged his memory.
2009 wasn't the first time that I was abducted.
Now he just revealed that his brother Tom has had alien contact too.
I was 4.
What happened?
As I'm in the top bunk, I start seeing these flashes of light outside the window. And they got so bright, they were almost penetrating the walls. There was a hatch that went to a crawl space type attic, and the hatch started rattling. And I literally look off the bunk, and my brother is gone. It was just like 2009. I fade out, and I'm in a craft. And my brother's there.
So what you're saying is that it wasn't just you, it was your brother?
We just had such a good life. Until then.
What about your relationship with Tom after this event?
We just were very distant. We didn't communicate. The best way to describe it is, you know, growing up on the farm, a horse farm, it was the Norman Rockwell setting that my mom wanted for her children. And this just ripped it away.
My contact experience has always been challenging, but on the whole it's been positive, but that's not the case for Matt. He's having a really tough time, and he's just revealed to me that his brother Tom is also an abductee, and that's a breakthrough. And I think it's going to help us get to the bottom of these abduction cases here in Indiana.
Meanwhile, Mike is with Maureen. They are researching Mike's theory that Matt's car was hit by a bolt of lightning and that this caused Matt's missing time experience.
There's something like 55 million lightning strikes in the U.S. every year. There's 10,000 in the state of Indiana alone, and it seems to fit everything. For instance, you know, the burned out electronics here in the car. You know, he was out wandering in the field. We don't know if he fell down while he was out there and got cut. There's all kinds of things that could happen because short-term memory loss is definitely something that happens when you get struck by high levels of electrical energy.
I really like this theory, but how are we supposed to prove this?
Well, I think the first thing we have to do is check the Weather Bureau records and find out if there were thunderstorms in the area that night. If there were, I think we've pretty much nailed it. If there weren't, the theory could fall apart at that point, but that's going to be the key thing for us to figure out. So
I should be able to get a detailed report of that, but it might take a couple days.
Okay. So in the meantime, I think the first thing I would like to do is I would like to test the memory loss component of this by running an experiment where we run some electrical current around the person, a member of the team.
I don't like the smirk that's on your face right now.
Well, I was kind of wondering if you'd be my guinea pig in this experiment.
How many volts we talking here?
Not that many. Maybe 700,000.
All right, I guess I'm willing to do this, but...
We will take all the appropriate safety precautions. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
The following day, investigators Daryl and Stephen head out to meet Matt Reed's brother, Tom. They want to find out more about his alleged abduction and the effect it had on his family.
I envisioned this Norman Rockwell upbringing, and it was anything but that. Over the years, we've found a way to deal with it and put it on the back burner and block it out, but no matter how hard you try, you just can't do that. You really need to face it and hit it head on, and I think at this point in our life, it's time to do that.
Investigator Daryl has personal and traumatic firsthand experience of family abduction.
The aliens came after me when I was a little boy, and then they got my son. They come after families. This is how they operate.
Tom, Stephen Jones.
Steve, pleasure.
Nice to meet you.
Likewise.
Well, thanks, Tom, for having us here today so we can talk to you. We believe that you had some experiences as a young boy.
What happened in your events?
I do remember laying on a table, and I do remember something coming over me. There were these figures off to the left, which brought my brother next to me. So I saw the two figures. They were standing right next to each other. One turned its head a little bit and swung over towards me.
What did you see when he turned and looked at you?
Just the face of this thing. It was really disturbing. I had never seen anything like that before.
Do you have any sense at all that what they were there for?
I did get a sense, and so did my brother, that we were there. There was a need from something from us, if that makes sense.
Tom's brother, Matt, had strange puncture marks left on his body after the alleged abduction. Daryl wants to know if Tom had any physical marks left on him, too.
Thomas, in any of your events, have you ever experienced anything like unusual cuts, scars, missing tissue, anything like that whatsoever that you could not explain?
I have what many have referred to as a scoop mark on my right arm. I don't remember a scab or anything. It was just one day it was there. You can actually feel this.
A lot of skin missing there. You'd think you'd kind of notice that if you'd had a big chunk of skin taken out of you like that for that deeply.
You would think.
Both brothers have revealed that they have physical scars left on them from their alleged abduction experiences. Daryl believes this is more than coincidence.
The reason these events happen, in my view, is that the alien, whoever they are, they're looking for certain things, and they intend to do something with it.
In my view, both Matt and his brother Tom have been abducted by aliens, and medical procedures have been carried out. The big question for us is, why are the ETs doing this to them?
Daryl and Stephen now believe that Tom can help them identify the type of extraterrestrial involved in his alleged abduction.
Thomas, if you don't mind, I'd like for you to draw one of the entities that you saw and draw them as close as you possibly can to what it is you remember today.
Okay.
Ex-CIA operative Daryl tries to jog Tom's memory by getting him to draw the alien he witnessed. Daryl claims to have had contact with many different types of alien, and some of them take blood and tissue.
He is back there. He's not just remembering, he's actually back there at that event. He's looking that being in the eye and then duplicating it.
How many arms did he have?
2, I believe.
Wow, it's what I feared. He's drawing the insectoid. These are the harvesters. Their primary purpose is to harvest human tissue.
Whatever this was, definitely frightened me.
How many of these entities did you see of this kind? 2 of them, okay?
And was that the first time that you ever saw that one?
Yes, absolutely.
For Daryl and Stephen, there is mounting evidence that brothers Tom and Matt are having blood and tissue taken from them by aliens. As Stephen and Daryl follow up their new leads, aeronautics engineer Mike is setting up an experiment with fellow investigator Maureen Ellsbury. If Matt's car was hit by lightning, then Mike has a theory that could explain Matt's missing time.
Okay, we about ready to go?
Not really.
He plans to put Maureen Ellsbury into a metal suit, then zap the suit with 700,000 volts of electricity.
How close are you actually expecting me to stand next to this thing?
About 7 feet away.
Mike believes that the extremely high voltage flowing around Matt through the body shell of his car during a lightning strike could have affected his memory.
So before Maureen gets zapped by 700,000 volts of electricity, I'm going to test her memory. What I'm going to do is show her 6 objects on a tray, give her 15 seconds to memorize them, and then I'm going to take the tray away so she can't see it anymore. All right, so what's on the plate?
A light bulb,
Yep.
6 of hearts, and
You don't know, do you? Okay, good.
Give me a
Spatula. You got 5 out of 6 spatula on there, so that's pretty good. So what's going to happen now is Stephen, my assistant, is going to take you off and he's going to get you suited up for the experiment. So let's go.
Maureen is now being placed in a protective metal suit, which should conduct the high voltage safely around her body.
Oh, this is terrifying.
This should act in the same way that Matt's car would have shielded him from the lethal effects of a direct lightning strike.
All right, so when someone accidentally electrocutes themselves at home, typically, what's the voltage?
Well, a normal house line has 125 to 120 volts on it. This is 700,000, so a bit more. Okay, so we want you to get back as far as possible that way. We'll go ahead and turn the machine on, and then you can walk towards it, and we'll let it arc to you.
If Mike's theory is true, Maureen's memory should be at least temporarily reduced by her proximity to extremely high voltage.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to count down from 10. At 5, I'm going to turn the machine on, and then when I get to 0, if you can even hear me, basically you can start walking toward the machine then, all right? All right, ready? Okay, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, God.
You okay?
Well, I can't hear very well.
Okay.
Walking directly towards that thing is a little bit petrifying, not knowing what was going to happen. In my ears, definitely, it was almost deafening.
Before the effects wear off, Mike immediately retests Maureen's memory. She has 15 seconds to memorize 6 objects on a plate. In the memory test before she was zapped, she recalled all but one of the objects.
Tell me what was on the second tray.
An apple. 6 of hearts.
Okay. Anything else?
Toothbrush.
That's right.
That's all I got.
This time, Maureen only recalled 2 of the 6 objects.
Okay. Car, necklace, flowers, don't remember those. Okay. Well, so what I think we have is we have some proof that being hit by high voltage electricity can affect your short-term memory. So this is evidence that electricity close to the body can temporarily fry your brain and short your memory out. That could be the reason why Matt has an hour and a half of missing time from that night.
The investigators regroup to share their findings. Mike is convinced that Matthew Reed's missing time was the result of a lightning strike and not aliens.
So what did you find for us?
Well, we put Maureen through the electrical experiment, and it pretty much scrambled her brains up to the point that she really couldn't remember some items on a little test plate that we had that basically proves that her cognitive functioning was impaired at just a fraction of what Matthew Reed would have been put through. His brain was fried.
So we're basically just waiting for the weather report data to come back. And if there was a storm in the area,
We get that evidence, it'll be case closed.
Well, I got news for you, Mike. This is about alien intervention.
he was examined by a doctor following his event. What I think would be really wise for us to do is talk to his doctor and see if we can find out if there is any sort of medical anomalies.
The following day, while the team waits for the weather report to confirm if there was a lightning strike the night of Matt Reed's incident, investigators Maureen and Daryl head to meet with Matt's doctor, who examined him shortly after his alleged abduction.
Well, this is going to be fairly exciting.
Yeah, it'll be nice to get some clarification on some of his symptoms.
Maureen wants to find out if, in the doctor's opinion, a lightning strike could have caused Matt's missing time.
Dr. Mozilla? Hi, Maureen Ellsbury.
Glad to meet you.
You too.
Very good to see you, Doctor. Thank you for taking your time with us.
So you saw Matthew Reed after his incident, correct?
Yes. He asked me to examine him.
Would Matthew's symptoms be consistent with, let's say, someone who was hit by a strike of lightning?
Oh, maybe a side strike, yes. Direct hit would probably have killed him. There are very few survivors.
Daryl wants to know whether a lightning strike, direct or indirect, caused Matt's physical injuries.
I'm really interested in your examination of Matthew and the holes that were found behind his ear and in his chest. What did you find? What do you think about that?
Usually with lightning strike, you get evidence of a burn mark or an entry area. I did not see that. What I saw was more linear and more consistent with an incision being made. In other words, there was a small evidence of something like a scalpel.
So this seemed to be, to you, more of a medical procedure?
It gave that look.
Dr. Mazzillo is unable to explain Matt's strange marks on his body, and they do not support Mike's theory of a lightning strike.
Take care.
Been a pleasure, Doctor. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
The investigators regroup to discuss the case.
Oh, Mike, got the weather report.
Mike is still holding out for a rational explanation, believing that a lightning strike on Matt's car is the cause for his memory loss.
Okay, so Mike, you ready for this? There was a storm that night.
Told you.
But hold on. It appears the closest storm was recorded 700 miles south from where he believes he was abducted.
We now have no good explanation to take to these two guys about what happened to them, not only in the 1960s, but now in current times. We've got nothing.
Well,
so,
except that, yes, they had contact with an extraterrestrial intelligence.
What we possibly may have here is a case of alien harvesting. And by that, I mean the alien takes parts or pieces of skin, sometimes it's blood, sometimes it's a scoop mark. There may be a bigger problem for them, is if this involves alien harvesting in any form. It's not over, not for them.